Going to begin with West Ham Liverpool, where before the game, tributes were paid to Hammers legend Billy Bonds, who's died at the age of 79. Bonds played 799 times for West Ham and was captain for the FA Cup wins in 1975 and 1980. He spent 21 years as a player at Upton Park between 1967 and 1988, and he managed the club for 4 years in the early 90s. West Ham said it was with deep sadness and the heaviest of hearts that their legendary player, coach and manager had passed away peacefully on Sunday morning. Everyone at Match of the Day extends their condolences to Billy's family and friends.
Giving away anything to the other team as a gift, that is something we definitely not want to do today, because we've done that far too many times already this season. I saw a lot of things the same today. I saw us creating chances, which we didn't score. The biggest difference was that we didn't concede after 5 minutes, because if you concede after 5 minutes, you normally play much more open than when it's 0-0 or you're 1-0 up.
You would expect Liverpool to be quite nervous at 1-0, given that they've not been in a good place recently. And Lucas Paqueta, I can only describe it, gets himself sent off.
Look, I'm not going to go much further. I understand your question, but allow me to speak with Lucas first and try to understand why. I think even with one man less, the boys give it a fight. And let me just say, the spirit, the desire was there in a day that was very, very sad for us as a club.
Obviously, if you leave Mo Salah out for Liverpool's starting lineup, it's going to be talked about. What was your thinking there?
Now we play indeed a lot of games. In 10 days we play 4. I think there's a lot of talk about Liverpool every time I leave someone out. If it's Alexander ISAK or Ekitike or it's Florian Wirtz. And now it's with Mo Salah. And these players deserve this because they are so quality players. And Mo has been so important for the club and will be very important for us as a club. Wednesday we play again, Saturday we play again, Tuesday we play again. So let's see what the team selection is on Wednesday.
You'd scored in the League Cup this season, but it's your first Premier League goal for Liverpool.
Yeah, of course. I've been waiting for it and chasing it, and sometimes it takes longer than you expect. But yeah, happy to be able to score a goal and help on the way to the win today.
Well, the reaction from Alex Isak, probably similar to the reaction across Liverpool, which was that of relief rather than, unmitigated joy in terms of getting that result. You watched him at Newcastle at his very best. Where is he on that journey at Liverpool?
Well, it's about getting the very best from him, which at times he's going to need help from his teammates. He has to do better, obviously. We've not seen as much as we thought. But today, I think we've seen it's a very much work in progress, some really positive signs, but also signs where it can definitely improve with his teammates' understand of what he needs to make his game better, and you have to be able to do that. I think this is a really good ball from Wirtz, and I think he's certainly not up to speed to what we've seen early on in the game. You'd expect him to make that run and to get on the end of it. As I said, there were some positives. He does really well there in getting the ball out. The ball then comes in, and he's in the right place. It's a decent opportunity, but you have to say that's a good save from the goalkeeper. This next one, he has every right to moan, shout, scream. That has to come in first time. There's no need to take a touch there. It's a great ball to whip in. All right, it doesn't come in first time. It has to then come in a second time with the left foot. Otherwise, you're doing the forward no good whatsoever. It's a really good opportunity to get the ball in for a forward who needs to be fed. Now, okay, they work it really well again in terms of being patient, and again, forget taking the touch. That passes on first time, and then he takes the touch, which allows then West Ham that split second to get the defender into place, and it turns out to be not a problem for West Ham in the end. Same thing again. I think that's a good run. And if he doesn't get it the first time, then he has to get it the second time. Again, that ball has to come in. And then the same thing again, you can see him having a moan up, and absolutely right. And this is what happens. This is how deadly he can be. If you get the balls in at the right time, at the right pace, he works the space really well, doesn't do a lot to create it. Sometimes the standing still is the best part, but that is a fantastic finish. That is what he is all about. But as I said, he needs sometimes his teammates to help him out. And today, with that ball, yes, but there are so many times where the ball can come in earlier for him and go in behind.
One of the teammates who wasn't available to help him on the pitch today was Mohamed Salah, who spent the game on the bench. Arne Slot said it's because they've got 4 games in 10 days. They've got 14, 15 outfield players. There's going to be some rotation. That's what he has to say. And he said there's a fuss no matter who he leaves out.
Yeah.
But it's Mo Salah, so there's going to be more noise.
There's always going to be a big talking point with him being left out. But in terms of form, then he can't really complain. I think Ekitike can complain in terms of being form and him not playing. But when it's a big decision from the manager, as it's always going to be with the likes of Mo Salah, they have to go out and they have to perform and they have to win the game. And they've done that today.
Lucas Paqueta sent off for persistently arguing with the referee. In commentary, it was called ridiculous behaviour. Paqueta responded to this on X and said it's ridiculous to have your life and career affected for 2 years without any psychological support from the federation. Perhaps this ridiculous behaviour is just a reflection of everything I've had to endure, and it seems have to continue enduring. I'm sorry if I'm not perfect. Now, this is in response to the 2-year investigation, at the end of which all charges he was cleared of in July of spot fixing charges. And he clearly feels that he's not had the support to help him to get over what's clearly been a very difficult situation. But there is also, Micah, a responsibility to stay within the laws of the game.
Yeah, I mean, to be booked twice for dissent, what you've said there, Kel, is totally right. And he deserves more support, in his opinion. But one thing you can't do is let your teammates down for dissent, because we know how good of a player he is. We know how much we've talked him up in the past. He can really make the difference for this team. To get sent off for this, yeah, it's frustrating. You can tell, have that over your head for so long and potentially could have left West Ham in that time. You can see he's frustrated. But when you put on the shirt and you're there with your teammates, you've got to give everything. And I think that was just a silly decision.
And he's just come back from a ban as well for 5 yellow cards, hasn't he?
5 yellows, yeah.
Correct.
Madness.
Really lovely tributes to Billy Bonds, who had a very, very long career at West Ham, played right into his 40s. In fact, he played so long that you actually played against him.
I did. I played against him way back in 1988, which was for his very, very last game for West Ham. I made my debut early April, then played against West Ham and Billy back in the back end of April. So, I mean, what a guy, what a character, what a career! 799 games, just unbelievable. 2 FA Cup lifts in there as well. So it's incredible. Yeah, condolences go to
there'll have been so many incredible stories told about him at West Ham today. They do that kind of occasion so well. To Stamford Bridge next.
A massive relief for Arne Slot and Liverpool today. The Reds have finally snapped their losing streak with a hard-fought 2-0 victory over West Ham at the London Stadium. The big talking point before kickoff was Slot's bold decision to bench Mohamed Salah. It was a gamble, but it paid off. After a tight first half, the deadlock finally broke in the 60th minute. Alexander Isak finally arrived, smashing in his first ever Premier League goal for the club to make it 1-0. West Ham tried to fight back, but their discipline completely collapsed late on. Lucas Paqueta lost his head, picking up 2 yellow cards in less than 60 seconds for dissent, leaving the Hammers with 10 men and a mountain to climb. With West Ham scrambling, Liverpool killed the game in stoppage time. Cody Gakpo, who set up the first, fired home the second to seal the deal. A 2-0 win, ISAK off the mark, and 3 huge points heading back to Anfield.